the secret of where to find houses under market value. It's The Real Estate Show. Welcome to The Real Estate Show. My name is Rick Naples, owner-broker of Zone Realty LLC. You zone your home. HUD homes. What's a HUD home? Well, a HUD home is a house that's owned by the Housing and Urban Development. In other words, it's a house that's being put on the market because the bank that foreclosed on it couldn't sell it. Maybe it had gone to auction and it didn't sell at auction, or for one reason or another, the house wasn't able to sell at a value that the bank found acceptable in order to close the deal. So they've sold the loan back to the insurer, HUD. Now HUD owns the home, and HUD's going to put the house on the market under the current market value. Now these are pretty good houses, folks. There's an opportunity to find some real jewels in the rough as far as these houses are concerned. Now, where do you find them? How do you go about buying them? What's involved in the process if you're looking to purchase a HUD home? And what's most important, what are the issues with these homes? I mean, they were on the market at one time or another, or maybe not, and they didn't sell. Why? Let's take a look at this presentation that I put together that goes over what HUD homes are and some of the things you need to look for when you're looking at HUD homes, as well as where to find them. Now, I know that presentation was a little bit long, folks, and I apologize for that, but it's really hard to try to condense all the information that's available on the HUD site as far as HUD homes are concerned and present it to you in such a way where you can get the most information in the shortest amount of time. Now, some of the things that were brought out in that presentation are quite interesting. The one that I wanted to talk about mostly is what some of the issues could be with HUD houses. Now, you have to understand, these homes at one time or another were regular homes owned by, people. The seller, for one reason or another, went into foreclosure. The house did not sell under the foreclosure guidelines or did not sell when the bank owned it, and the loan was sold back to HUD. Now HUD has the home, and HUD's going to put it on the market. First thing HUD's going to do is they'll do an assessment of the home. Now this is kind of nice because most of the cases when you're looking to purchase a home, one of the things you're going to do is hire a home inspector. Well, HUD homes have already been inspected. Now, in no way am I implying that HUD has inspected the home as thoroughly as a home inspector would. But they do a general inspection, and they do go through the whole house, and they provide a report that's available for you to take a look at of what the HUD assessment is as far as repairs that are needed on the home. And they'll break the home down into what they call 3 different categories. There's one category which will say that this is a house that needs more than $10,000 worth of work. Perhaps there's a roof that needs replaced, or maybe the furnace needs to be replaced, or so on and so forth. They'll also have a category of homes that they say are fine. These homes are insurable, they qualify for FHA loans, the buyer can get a regular mortgage on this house, and it's possible that the house is in a condition that you can move right into. And the third kind are those houses that are going to need more than $10,000 worth of work. In other words, these houses really need somebody to come in that has the ability to put some money into them and make them habitable homes again. When you're looking at HUD houses, you have to also be prepared to look at certain things that are not going to be there. You got to remember, these houses have gone through a lot to get to where they are. So usually they're pretty stripped down. Now this doesn't matter if you're a buyer that's looking for a fixer-upper, a house that you can come into and make your own, that you can purchase at a low price and then invest some money to bring it back up to where it was. Because most of the time when you walk into a HUD home, you may find that, for instance, in the kitchen there's no appliances, or you may find that the electrical system is very dated and the electrical system has to be completely redone. And one of the most common and unfortunate things you find with these HUD homes is they've been vandalized. Someone has broken into the home because they saw it there sitting vacant, and they've stolen out of the house anything they believe they can resell. Most commonly, HUD homes are older homes. So they're using older systems for plumbing, in other words, copper piping. And people will go in and they'll rip out all the copper because they can bring the copper to the salvage yard and get a few dollars. There's an old saying, a HUD house is the only kind of house where someone can go in and do there's an old saying where a HUD house is the kind of home where someone could go in and steal $100 worth of piping and cause thousands of dollars worth of damage. So you need to be cautious. The other thing that you need to do when you're looking at HUD homes is to make sure you're careful when you're walking around inside the home. These homes are empty. They've been empty for a while. There could be damages, especially if there are problems with the roof or there wasn't heat on during the winter or so on and so forth. So you want to be very careful walking around these homes. But again, what is the incentive? You can buy these homes under market value. To see what I'm talking about, I put together a presentation that just shows some of the data sheets on some of the homes that are available for sale. Let's take a look. So let's say that you decide to go the route, you're in a situation where you're capable of investing some money into a home to fix it up. Maybe you're a talented individual, you can do a lot of work yourself, or maybe you're going to hire contractors to do work, but you find a home and it's a jewel in the rough. It's a home that you can buy under market value in a neighborhood that you want to be in, and you can really work on this house and make this house the house of what you were looking for should you buy a house that's on the regular market. Now, as I said, HUD homes are going to have issues. Some of them are challenging, some of them are minor, some are major. It depends on the home. Now, let's say you go out and you look at some HUD homes. Now, in order to do that, the proper way of doing it, of course, is to work with a realtor or an agent that is HUD registered. In other words, this is an agent that has gone through the process to register housing and urban development in order to sell or show HUD properties that are on the market. So that's the first thing. Which is the first thing you usually do when you're a buyer and you're looking for a house? You work with a realtor. Now, once you're with the realtor and you've gone and you've looked at a couple of these HUD foreclosed houses and you found one that you feel that you'd like to make an offer on, HUD requires you make a bid. Now, bid in HUD lingo is an offer. That's basically all it is. This is not an auction. This is not something where you have a bunch of people in a room that are all yelling, "I'll pay this and I'll pay that." Whatever. This is not that kind of process. Although it's very similar, because you don't know if there are other people that are making offers on the home. Because unlike when a seller sells a home and when an agent's representing the house, you kind of really don't know what's going on with it. But what you do know is you do know when the offer period or the bidding period is open. Usually what happens is HUD will put a home on the market and they'll have a bidding period or offer period where they'll look at owner-occupied offers first and then later look at investor offers. And they'll give it a calendar amount of time, whether that amount of time might be 2 weeks or 30 days or longer. They give it that amount of time to look at any offers that come in and assess if any of those offers are acceptable. The way the bid is done, or the way the offer is made, is your registered realtor or HUD broker will enter the offer into the HUD system. It's all done online. So they fill out the offer, you sign it, and you get prepared to purchase the home should HUD accept your offer. Now, if you do make the offer and HUD accepts it, now you have certain things that you need to do in order to make that home in a situation that you can close. If it's a house that needs work, you may have to close on the home, and some of the money that's being provided to mortgage the home would be held back in escrow for repairs. If you're buying the home cash, you might be able to close sooner than if you're looking to finance. In any case, you have a certain amount of period of time in order to get your financing package, your buy package, whatever it might be, in place in order to close on that home and take title and ownership. Let's take a quick break and look at this little presentation, and then I'll come back and talk a little bit more about HUD homes. So as we've been talking here on this show about HUD homes, or what I call the fixer-uppers, well, let me step back. When you're looking at a fixer-upper, as we call it, I mean, these can be older homes that are move-in condition, but they're dated. In other words, the kitchen's out of date, or maybe the electrical system's out of date. But these are houses that you take with all its bumps and grinds and its possible issues, and you buy it and you move in and then you start to fix those issues as you're living in the house. Now, HUD homes can also be fixer-uppers, but they're a little bit more distressed in most cases. You may find that with a HUD home, you don't have a fully staffed kitchen. In other words, you don't have all the appliances in the kitchen. You may not have an up-to-date electrical system. I've been in HUD homes that have holes in the roof that have been leaking for the last couple of years, that have major issues with warped floors, furnaces missing, pipes missing, electrical ripped out of the walls, holes in the walls, animals living in the house, all kinds of issues. But if you do happen to look at one and it's got a good, strong structural frame, perhaps it's a house that you can go into and completely fix up and get a really good house that's under market value. Something to consider. If you had the opportunity to buy a house that would fit your needs under market value, in other words, a house that's been priced in such a way where it's lower than anything else that's out there, would you look at it? Would it be an opportunity, or would you think it's too good to be true? This is the part of the real estate show I call the real estate mailbag. Obviously, my opportunity to address questions that are emailed to me here at the Real Estate Show or are asked to me when I'm out and about in the street. And a conversation came up the other day about the HUD home. I mean, how much of a commitment do I have to make? Well, bottom line is it's just like purchasing any other home. An offer is going to be made. Maybe some other offers are coming in on the property. You got to get your financing in line if you're looking to finance it. And if you win, in other words, if your offer is accepted, now you're on the calendar. You have a certain amount of time to do the things that you need to get in place in order to close on the home. I always advise caution with HUD homes. You got to know what you're getting into, folks. Don't let the price of the home get you excited. You know, you could be looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, and all of a sudden you find one in a neighborhood you're interested in, and it's far under market value, and you get all excited about it. Well, make sure that you do hook up with a HUD broker or a HUD registered agent, and you go take a look at that home so that you can do an assessment as to whether or not it's the challenge you want to take on. And I'll tell you, the folks that I do know that have bought HUD homes, they put the work into them to make them the homes that they are comfortable with. They've been very satisfied with their purchases. My name's Rick Naples. This has been the Real Estate Show. I thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.